my last video, I have had an overwhelming positive response and many questions being asked about my journey. I've thought about this long and hard, and I've decided to share my journey with you as best I can and share responses to questions that I am most commonly asked. I'm going to start with an easy one. How did you arrive at Eli? When I first made the announcement about having a male soul, I started thinking about my name. In 1965, I was assigned female at birth. I was given the name Elizabeth Renee Rigatuso. I was named after my Aunt Betty and my mom, who also went by the name Betty. I share my date of birth with my aunt, which is June 25th, and as far back as I can remember, she always used to say that I stole her birthday. Until she got older, and then she would say I could have it because she was no longer celebrating getting older. My mom didn't want to call me Betty, thankfully, so my nickname has always been Beth. As I began this journey, I started to think about my name. One thing is clear, I do not and have never hated my name. I also don't hate who I am as a person. I've had a very long and interesting journey of coming to a place of accepting myself, and I will share more as time goes on. It took a great deal of courage to share the real me with you all. I was worried about what the initial responses would be, and I've been truly grateful for all of the positive and supportive messages that I've received. It's because of this that I'm willing to continue to share. One of the first thoughts I had when my world snapped into focus was, what will my name be? As it turns out, it has also been one of the first questions people asked before I came up with my name. Since I've never hated my name, I was curious if there had ever been any men named Beth or Elizabeth, and to my surprise, there were and have been boys born and given these names. Who knew? Elizabeth, not only for queens. Of course, there have not been many boys named Beth or Elizabeth, but it has happened. So a part of me thought, I could just keep the name. What to do? Then I did a search for male names that are similar to Elizabeth and discovered the name Elijah, nickname Eli. I told Kira that I was going to call myself Eli. She didn't really respond, and so I'm not sure if it was because she was still processing the whole thing or what. Well, a few weeks passed and I started to think again about names. I get to choose, right? So the next day and a half, I became obsessed, very obsessed. I came up with a list of 13 names, along with the meanings, and here's the list. Looking at this list now, I have to laugh. None of those names really suit me. And when I shared the list with Kira, she responded with, "What happened to Eli?" I laughed and said, "Oh yeah, so Eli was born, and it suits me. As people have begun to call me Eli, I'm realizing it was really meant to be all along." A fun side note, my middle name, which is Renee and will remain Renee, means reborn. Now, how's that for accuracy? And another interesting fact, back in 1965, ultrasound technology was not being used. As a matter of fact, it wasn't being used regularly until the early to mid-70s. So, back when I was born, my mother may have picked out a boy name and a girl name. Given her current state of mind, I doubt I'd be able to get a clear answer from her about what her boy name for me may have been. But during an initial conversation I had with her about being transgender, she responded almost immediately with, "I'm going to call you Charlie." I will share more about my conversation with her in another video. Suffice it to say, I didn't go with Charlie. Although I did have an Uncle Charlie who died when he was an infant, and it would not have surprised me if my mother would have wanted to name me after him. Okay, so that's it for question 1. I will have more very soon. Thanks for watching.